And the next one is if employers persist in their traditional workplace, I mean, like not hybrid, just go to the office. So what is the first step to make a change? Rules or principles or culture?
Well, this goes back to my talk. I think the most important thing that traditional workplaces need to do is to figure out how the working conditions and the work itself is preventing people from doing their best work. Bottom line, you know, when you prevent people from doing their best work, not only is their productivity less and they have to put in more hours to get the same productivity, but they also they lose their intrinsic motivation because they feel thwarted. they feel undermined. And so the disruptors, I really want to put emphasis here. If we understand what are the disruptors of people's ability to do their best work and to identify those factors that undermine their health and well-being, now we have a blueprint for what we need to fix. And so the things that I talked about today actually can build health and well-being into the workplace. And then if we design in these qualities that support need satisfaction, you will be able to maintain intrinsic motivation. You eliminate those disruptors, and then people can use their time wisely. So it's a formula that is out there. It's proven. It's with huge benefits. But who can't you convince? Leadership. And I think the main stumbling block to that is the engineering approach to work and work processes. All of that's been worked out. We know, how things move from person to person. We know what jobs people need to do. And we, just designed it out in an engineering way, and we forgot about the person. We forgot about the intrinsic motivation that has to be present. People have to want to do that work. And the way work is designed is to be efficient, which is different from being effective. Efficient means you use the fewest resources for the maximum gain. What does that kill? Motivation, because it drives to understaffing. And when you get to understaffing, then you get the workload, the long work hours, you get inadequate resources, and so on. So these are part of the disruptors that really challenge people.
Yeah, I think so too. So, Tanaka-san, do you have any questions to Christina?
でいいですか?
Of course. So you're gonna translate Asian, please?
Sure, yeah. Christina, thank you for your today's seminar. But I'm poor English speaker, so I have a question, but as Japanese, sorry.
Yeah.
アメリカでこんな感じでハイブリッド型のワークプレイスってすごく今検討されている方多いと思うんですが、社内の人事とか経営者自身がそのあたりについて専門的な知見を持っているわけではないので、おそらく誰かそういうハイブリッドワークプレイスの推進みたいなことをサポートしているような専門家っていうのがいるんじゃないかなと思うんです。で、それがいわゆるデザイン会社みたいな感じなのか、クリスティナ先生のような学術的なところなのか、そういう専門のコンサルがまた出てきているのかとか、その辺ってどんな感じでビジネスが行われているかに関心があります。いかがでしょうか？
First and foremost, you should have an expert who understands work and work motivation. So you may want to engage work psychologists because they understand what work needs to be done and can redesign the work so that it fits the worker and doesn't put undue pressure on the individual, which will cause a lot of negative outcomes, in addition to lower productivity. So a work psychologist, organizational development expert would be another. So then that person needs to work with operations, because operations doesn't want to change anything. So because they've already got it worked out, and if it's successful in terms of profit or revenue, they don't want to change anything. But if they understand that the way the work and working conditions are set up now is causing costs, unneeded, unnecessary costs, both to the company and to the health and well-being of its lifeblood, the people, then they may be open to hearing a different way of organizing the work. But if you can't influence operations, you don't go anywhere, because they're sort of king or queen in organizations. So a person who understands work, a person who can work with the management of work through operations, and then HR can come in and develop management practices, new management practices, new training practices, and identify new resources that will fill in gaps with the deficits in resources, which cause the disruptions, the lower productivity. What we're trying to do is to think of the individual worker as someone who wants to be effective, both in terms of the ability to do the job and the willingness and the motivation to do the job well. If you hold on to that as the primary focus, then you can look at all different things in the organization that interrupt that. It's a different perspective. Instead of looking at the job, you're actually looking at the worker and saying, there's so much noise in here, I can't concentrate. Or the temperature is so high, I can't concentrate. Or I can't get a hold of my manager to answer a key question, and I can't go on without him. So if you think about effectiveness as opposed to efficiency, which is how to do the most with the least resources, but you're looking at what will support that person's ability to do a great job. Do you know health and well-being happens along with it? Because what you're doing is you're giving people what they need in the work setting. So another expert, you probably want to get some occupational health people involved to identify all the bad things that are in the environment that need to be eliminated. And then the organizational development people could potentially tell you what are all the good things you need to put in there. So this is a long answer, but that's because it takes a lot of different experts to get it right. And there's no reason why they can't work together. We just haven't asked them for it.